Welcome everyone. We're going to be reading from St. Mark's Gospel, and it's chapter 4. On that day, as evening drew on, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us cross to the other side." Leaving the crowd, they took Jesus with them in the boat just as he was, and other boats were with him. A violent squall came up, and the waves were breaking over the boat, so that it was already filling up. Jesus was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. They woke him and said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up, rebuked the wind, and said to the sea, "Quiet, be still." The wind ceased, and there was a great calm. Then he asked them, "Why are you terrified? Do you not yet have faith?" They were filled with great awe and said to one another, "Who then is this, whom even wind and sea obey?" So that's a great way to end this gospel. Who then is this whom even wind and sea obey? Who is this that even the wind and the seas obey? Well, St. Mark wrote a gospel to tell you who that person was. This is one of these dramatic miracles that Jesus performs in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And in the Gospels, there are two types of miracles. One type of miracle is performed on people. A person has leprosy and Jesus heals that person. A person is possessed by Satan and Jesus performs an exorcism. A person has died, like Lazarus, and Jesus raises Lazarus from the dead. So Jesus performs miracles on people, and those people or other people often come to faith because of that type of a miracle. There's another type of miracle as well, and they're miracles that are performed on things. Jesus turns water into wine. Jesus multiplies bread and fish. Okay, what else does Jesus do? He helps Peter walk on water. And what else does he do? Well, he calms the sea in the gospel today. So this is a nature miracle. And this also helps people to come to faith in Jesus Christ. So, here we go. You know, Mark is writing for a mixed audience. He's writing for Gentiles. Sometimes they're called the Greeks, they're the non-Jews. And then Mark is also writing for Jewish people. Primitive people back then were afraid of nature. They didn't know how things happened in nature. So if there was an earthquake, if there was a storm, if a forest fire started, there's a tsunami, the people back then were very religious. And they thought that the certain gods were doing these things to punish people or even to play around with people, kind of teasing them. So that's what people thought. So Gentiles who heard this story would have been very impressed with this Jesus, who's a divine man who has control even over nature. But this is what's important. He controls nature to help people, not to manipulate people. So they would have been very, very impressed with this Jesus. The Jews who heard this story would have also been impressed, and they immediately would have thought of two other stories from the Old Testament that had to do with water. The first would be creation. There is this chaos all over the world, and there's this this water which is just swooshing over the world, and God speaks and the waters separate. So Jewish people would have been saying to themselves, that Jesus character, he just spoke and the waters listened to him. What else? Well, they would have also thought of the Exodus event, where God parts the water and the Jewish people can walk dry-shod through the sea and into freedom. And they would have thought again that Jesus just did what God did for the Jewish people centuries earlier. So who is this that even the wind and the seas obey? For Mark, and for those who have faith, the answer is easy. Jesus is God. Jesus is God. So come back tomorrow. We're going to be taking a look at this gospel again, and we'll see how we can apply this in our lives.